Styles of play have changed, making for a more aggressive, crowd-pleasing brand of ball. The key to this new style of play is the fast break, where every action is directed to moving the ball into scoring position before the defense has a chance to get set.
The man to whom our back would entrust this new-look offense was Bob Cousy, the unorthodox playmaker who made purists cringe.
Arnold's position was always, hey, you want to pass a little differently or whatever, that's fine as long as it works.
Well, Cousy and I had an understanding. I didn't care how he threw the ball, as long as somebody caught it.
Sanders. Cousy waiting for his man. Bounce pass to Russell. Basket is good and he's fouled. Three-point play coming up. Wasn't that pretty as Russell came flying down the lane and Cousy led him perfectly.
Well, basketball's always been identified with the tall players, and I think speed and quickness really separates the men from the boys in every sport as far as success is concerned. And this is the biggest asset that the bigger men have. This is really what separates them from the other players and enables them to play on this level. So all the way down the line, this versatility, mobility is the keynote.
Bob, with the great attribute of having peripheral vision, had to be a great help to you, especially on the fast break when you could really see everyone coming down the court, probably better than anyone. I've got some films here that I think stresses the versatility of Bob Cousy, so let's take a look, Bob.
It helps to be a freak to some degree to play sports, and specifically basketball, Paul. And thank God I qualified in this respect with the vision, the long arms, the big hands, things of this nature, which enable you to control the ball much better, see the entire playing court without actually turning your head.
I have exceptional peripheral vision. That's a tremendous asset to have in basketball when people talk about seeing the whole court. The assets were in place. For someone who is blessed that way, doing the unorthodox becomes very easy to do, frankly.
Bob, where'd you learn all your tricks of ball handling? You have long arms and big hands, but you must have picked it up in the playground.
Well, yeah, that kind of helps, Kurt. You've got to be a little bit of a freak to play this game. Thank God I qualified very well, and primarily in the areas you speak of, really. I have long fingers, which help you with ball control, long arms, and that behind-the-back jazz. Actually, very little of that was practiced. It was kind of instinctive. A lot of kids, unfortunately, try to imitate the pros, and they kind of get in trouble with this kind of stuff. But it comes easy if you're built properly.
10 years All-Pro, 13 years a participant in the All-Star game, and I guess if there's one category that I would think Bob Cousy's especially proud, was you led the league in assists for 8 consecutive years.
Well, I think in basketball, Paul, it probably requires more teamwork, really, than any sport that's played. And in order to sustain the unselfish play and the defense and rebounding that normally wins ball games, you have to give these guys a little reward. And the best reward you can possibly give them is another shot at that ball. This also is kind of becoming a lost art in basketball. As a matter of fact, I think there's been a progression we've talked about in every sport. In basketball specifically, they shoot better, they're stronger, they're perhaps more mobile. But where there's been a regression is in the art of dribbling, really, and passing, and simply understanding how the game should be played.
Russell in the high post there, and Cousy again getting behind him for the screen.
Now to Cousy, flying pass, Sanders. And Jones missing, Russell underneath, bouncing it out to Cousy. The one-handed pop.
Running Bob Cousy. And Cousy gets off the shot.
Cousy in the lane. Russell, dunk.
Beautiful give and go there as Bob Cousy got the return pass from Heinsohn on a fine pick play. Bob Cousy now has 8 points tonight, and the Celtics lead 11-9.
Gives to Cousy, starting the fast break. Celtics roaring down. Cousy looking for a man. Out to Sam Jones. The jumper. Good.
He is the middleman. Cousy with a backhand pass to Heinsohn for the shot. Beauty.
It's a question of acclimating yourself to the players you're playing with. You have to study them really as closely as the players you play against.
Bob, describe the changes in basketball, if there are any, over the course of your career, from the time you were one of the best to play the game, to the period that you were coach, and finally to being an NBA analyst.
I guess it was more simple when we played, and I think, frankly, I was going to say the coaches have complicated it. I'm not sure. That's probably an easy answer. But, maybe it's a reflection of some of their insecurities, because the game has become much more structured and much more disciplined. The transitional part of the game, which I grew up with, we featured on those great Celtic teams, even in college. At every level, most of the offenses that were being played were transitional in nature. If you had to go controlled in terms of half-court sets and calling plays or systems, you did that if the fast break or the transition part of the game didn't work. Now that's completely reversed. Even on a professional level, everything is kind of by design. And in my humble judgment, the game is a game of free flow. The option to the play, for instance, works better than the play itself in basketball, whereas in football, in contrast, 11 people have to be completely on the same page, have to, on each play, carry out specific assignments in order for the play to be successful. Every now and then a broken play in football will work, but generally speaking, 11 guys, as I say, have to be doing it simultaneously. In basketball, it's just the reverse. It's the defense tells you, the offensive player or the point guard, what to do, what to create, what to develop, etc. So we don't see this as much anymore. There are 29 teams in the NBA. Perhaps 4 of them are focusing on some degree of the transitional game. Most of them, the coaches like to jump up and hold up fingers every time down. Well, obviously, if you have to stop and see what the coach wants you to do offensively, forget the transition game. It's not going to happen. Obviously, as an old-timer, I would make a strong argument in any forum that transitional part of the game should be in every coach's arsenal.
In every game.
Absolutely.
Boston fast break. Ramsey went down. Goaltending is the call. Casey Jones drives and makes it. Good shot. A lot of English as he banked it off the side going in. 49. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Cousy lets fly and hits. Cousy. The score now, the Celtics 59, the Lakers 49. You may be witnessing Cousy's last game. Harder than his first, and he's been missing with him. Cousy hits again. Cousy now has 14 points. The Lakers now at the 50 mark, 64-50, with 40 seconds to play in the half. Cousy makes it. Cousy with a great hand tonight at 16 points. Mr. Basketball, Bob Cousy with 16 points here in this first half of play. 66-50. The Celtics lead by 16 as the Lakers completely realigned. Wiley was guarding Russell, but to no avail. Russell. Long pass to Sanders. Look at that play. Ball is knocked away. Cousy intercepts Wiley's pass. Cousy. Whoa, what a shot. Left-handed hook by Cousy. Cousy on West. And Cousy intercepted. He fell back off his man and blocked the middle. Fast break. Beautiful pass. And Havlicek scores as Sanders fed it to him. Cousy intercepted to start it all off. And again Boston takes it. They've been getting the rebounds, and Cousy's been a key man in getting them on the move. Bounce to Havlicek. He hits. Boston on a hot spurt opens up the lead. And there's a comment on the phone, the score. Celtics 92, Lakers 80. Cousy is hurt. Coming from one side or the other, looks like he hurt his left ankle. It must have been as he came across from back to front court in that scramble. It would certainly be a crushing blow to the Boston Celtics. And a tough way to Bob Cousy to leave if this turns out to be his final game after the most scintillating career of anybody in professional ranks. There goes Bob Cousy, and the fans who are applauding do not know at this time whether they're applauding him for the last time or not. But it certainly appears to be a most serious injury the way he is going off to the sideline, and he is getting a deserved standing ovation by the fans here in Los Angeles. Bob Cousy is coming back. Replaces Havlicek. Buddy LaRue working on that ankle. It's bandaged up, and Cousy is back in for these big last minutes. LaRusso is on Cousy, and Cousy goes by him. Cousy, bounce pass, and a shot by Sanders. Big bucket.
But the deepest regret I have in leaving is no longer being able to share the camaraderie, esprit de corps, the common bond of competition, and the inspiration I've received in being captain of this team.
What makes a champion? Is it raw talent, or is it something else?
That's a very good question. You see, naturally you've got to have the given talent. You got to have this raw talent. You got to have a potential of your ability out there. Now, usually the great players are dedicated. They will work and come up with something new every year, or every month, or every 2 months. But they'll improve their game, and they'll pay the price. And those guys love to play. They love to play. You add it all together, that's what makes greatness.
Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you wonderful, wonderful fans of New England that have given the Celtics and myself such continued sincere support.
In there with a second to go. Cousy throws it high in the air, and the Boston Celtics are the world champions. That's the end of the game. With the final score, Celtics 112, the Lakers 109.
You have written me congratulations when we've been successful. You have written letters of good cheer and sympathy when I've been hurt, and also letters of encouragement when I've been depressed or in a slump. I only hope that my playing has in a small way served to repay you for your many kindnesses. An affair like this takes only a few minutes to transpire, but please be assured that it will leave my family and me with a memory that will warm us throughout our lives. Finally, I would like you all to join with me in my appreciation to my mother and father, Missy and my daughters, for the wonderful inspiration they've given me through the years. Thank you, and may God bless you all.